Welcome back to another edition of Vikings Film Room, brought to you by the Vikings Entertainment Network, right here in beautiful TCO Studios. Well, when I think back on my professional career, I think about October 5th, 1998, going into Lambeau Field, huge underdogs, and coming away with a win, 37-24. Now, the Vikings are going to have a challenge just like that. What are they going to have to do to go into Lambeau Field and come away with the victory? Well, let's dig into the film and find out what the Vikings are up against. Now, when you dive into this Packer offense, the first thing you got to look at is Jordan Love. And personally, I think Jordan Love is much better when he's on the move. Let me show you some examples of what I'm talking about. On this first play, it's going to be a regular dash where you're just getting the quarterback out on the edge of the defense, cutting the field in half, making things a little bit more simple, right? That's a programmed dash for him to get to the outside. However, this is where it's supposed to go, running back in the flat. The quarterback is supposed to be able to continue outside uninterrupted. However, he's getting some pressure, and what you don't see is this guy, the wide receiver, coming across the middle of the field. Jordan Love, after being disrupted, is able to put his foot in the ground, avoid contact, get back up, and get the football to the wide receiver. Ultimately, this one was dropped, but that's not on Jordan Love. Another type of play that gets the quarterback on the move is the bootleg. Jordan Love executes these brilliantly. You see the beginning, extra tight ends, right? Big, looks like they're going to run the football. Ends up being play action, Watson in the backfield. Now watch when Love gets to the top of his drop. This is ideally when the ball wants to be let go. But look at this. The wide receiver is being covered, but he's being covered by a linebacker, right? Watch Jordan Love on this. He has such unbelievable feel. Instead of throwing the football now, where it might be batted down, he just waits and holds it, doesn't get to the line of scrimmage, and waits until the receiver gets past the linebacker. So when this ball is let go, you can see this relationship. Receiver past the linebacker. He's getting into the flat, and by the time that ball gets there, boom, look at the separation. This gives the receiver the opportunity to do what? Turn this thing up, and it's all because of the legs and the timing of Jordan Love. The other thing that mobility gets you, it's making plays when the play breaks down. This is what scares me the most going against a guy like Jordan Love, the ability to make things up. He and his wide receivers being on the same page. Again, big people in the game. Get the hard downhill run fake. As Jordan Love gets to the top of his drop, there is absolutely nowhere to go. This deep over route, you've got two defenders underneath it. This route down at the bottom is triangulated. They got a corner on the outside, safety on top, linebacker on it. There's nowhere for Jordan Love to throw this football. So what does he do? He starts moving around, buying some time, and watch the receiver. As soon as Jordan Love started to scramble, he worked his way out into the flat. A huge gain on a nothing play because Jordan Love can use his legs. Another example of Jordan Love using his legs to get his receivers open. This is a 1st and 20 play. So the Giants are in, they're in an umbrella style of defense. They're gonna keep everything in front of them. Watch what's called right here, though. You get the empty snap. This is just a curl on the backside here by Romeo Doubs. Jordan Love throws his football. He might get 4, 5 yards, maybe. But Jordan Love sees an opening in the protection. What does he do? He starts to step up. And why is he doing that? He's doing that to put pressure on the defender that's covering Doubs. That guy's going to have to make a decision. Do I go for the quarterback? Do I cover Doubs? And then on top of it, Doubs says, you know what? I'm just going to pirouette, get behind this defender, and I'm going to get back 13 of the 20 yards that we want to get. So again, Jordan Love making plays with his legs. Now, one of the things that's different about this Packers team, Christian Watson is back. And it's been a while since we've really had to worry about him per se due to injury and other things. He was on fire over the weekend. Let me show you what I'm talking about. On this first play, goal line play, you're going to get a play action, quarterback's rolling out. You see Watson in the back of the end zone, comes down with the catch. Pretty good catch, right? But wait until you see this from the end zone. Now, you're going to see Watson coming into the picture on the right side of your screen. You fake the dive. Watson working to the back of the end zone. He's trying to set up. Hard to tell if this ball is supposed to go to the crosser or to Watson on the curl. You've got a pile of bodies. The DB in the air just might have tipped the football. You couldn't tell. So this ball could have been touched by 2, maybe 3 guys before it gets through, hits Watson right. What concentration on the football in a week of drops all across the NFL. Christian Watson coming up big with that catch in the back of the end zone. Whenever we're talking about Christian Watson, it's his ability to get vertical and how the Packers integrate that into their play-action passing game. That's a huge problem. Before the ball is snapped, however, take a look at what you have. You have a number of Packers right here. You have a tackle, tight end, wide receiver, inside the tight end. They're piling up bodies there. Why? To make it look like a run. And conversely, look at the Giants. They've got a ton of white jerseys all piled up on a line of scrimmage. But it's all a ruse. It's all to get behind him. So watch what happens. Jordan Love takes the snap, play fake, gets to the top of his drop, and it worked out brilliantly. The linebackers, the underneath coverage, they're all still hovering at the line of scrimmage. And what do you see? This right here. Wide open lane. This corner is in a position of weakness because he's outside shade. This safety back here, he can't do anything to help. You have this whole entire wide open side of the field, all because of how you set this thing up. Watson with that speed, he gets in the open. You're not going to catch him from behind. Easy throw and catch for a first down. And finally, Watson on the game-winning touchdown reception. This here is a route as old as time. What do I mean by that? You see Watson in the slot. You have a tight end on the outside. All they're doing is reading what this defensive back does, and the fact that he's rolled up gives you a clue. That means this guy is going to sit once that tight end on the outside runs a stop route. So what does that open? That opens this entire area back here. We run this route. Every team runs this route. It's the best way for a slot receiver to get vertical and get to the corner of the end zone. And again, they execute it brilliantly. You see Watson on the outside. The corner tries to fall off. But look at this. There are 3 giant defenders in the area. Somehow, a beautiful throw by Jordan Love. And that is your game winner for the Green Bay Packers. Now, defensively for the Packers, the biggest change, of course, is Micah Parsons. And it's changing a lot of what they do, more 4-man fronts. But Micah Parsons is still a force to be reckoned with. On this play, 4th and 4, the Giants in the Packers' red zone. They need pressure. They get it from Micah Parsons. And just watch him in the power and the speed coming from the outside. As soon as he hits this tackle, here's the difference between a good pass rusher and a great one. A good pass rusher is going to take this edge and go all the way around on the outside. But what does Parsons do? No. Right there at that point, he is going to go straight to the quarterback in the pocket. He's going to lower those hips. Look at that long arm, full body extension. Low pads, wins, pushes that tackle right back into the quarterback, makes him scramble, and then he's athletic enough to ricochet off and make the sack. Micah Parsons is a guy you need to be worried about. Because Micah Parsons is on the field and they're going to a 4-man front more, you're going to see a lot of the linebackers. In this case, right here. Watch Quay Walker, right here. Isaiah McDuffie, right here. And Edgerrin Cooper, how well these guys play together. They're very, very good against the run. They're very, very good blitzers. And on this goal line play, they play it brilliantly. Watch how these 3 triangulate each other, just like they're supposed to do. As this ball's getting downhill, you're noticing the defensive line is eating up all these offensive linemen. And what does that leave? That leaves 3 linebackers. Quay Walker, inside out. Edgerrin Cooper taking on the fullback, and Isaiah McDuffie there to run through and pick this thing up. Ends up being a tackle for loss on a goal line play. So in football, much like in life, what makes you laugh can also make you cry. These downhill linebackers leave some opportunities in the underneath zones. What am I talking about? I'll show you right here. The Packers in a basic middle open type coverage. And in middle open, you relate to your receivers. Quay Walker is really fixated on this running back out of the backfield. The problem is what's happening behind him. As Jack Del Rio would always say, don't bite the cheese. Something shallow, something deep. And you can see it forming right here as this wide receiver has all kinds of room to get to the middle of the field. I mean, this is just waiting to be taken advantage of. Good throw, great catch, nobody within 7 yards of him. We could take advantage of this Packers zone defense underneath. Another type of route that works well against zones are the deep crossing routes. And we've done this before. The Vikings have done this to Green Bay many, many times, and the Giants are able to do this here. What are you going to get? You're just going to get a deep crossing route. So whatever happens, whether it's man or zone, You can see this developing right here. One receiver coming this way, the other receiver going this way. So if it's man, you can run a pick off each other. But what you're getting is really, look at this. It's a cloud type situation. The corner, he's settling because of the route coming his way. The middle safety is 10 yards off of this. And all it does is leave a huge open area right here. So J.J. McCarthy, just find the holes in the zones and wait for the receiver to get there. Because again, an uncontested catch by the New York Giants with the crossing routes deep in zones. Still don't believe me? How about a play action example of what I'm talking about right here? Okay, play action on the front side, quarterback gets to the top of his drop. I mean, this is the perfect spot, right? You have 4 Packer defenders, one on top, one on the outside, one underneath, one in the hook, but they still leave that gigantic hole in the middle. This takes the quarterback a long time to get there. This ball should already be on its way. He should anticipate this turn-in being open, but he waits a second, still gets there in time for the catch and the first down. And finally, this is it, the dagger for the Green Bay Packers, if you will. Watch Evan Williams, the safety on the bottom, and I'm going to give you a little something at the end of this. This ends up being an interception for Green Bay. And as you get right here at this point, okay, a couple of things. First of all, Valentine, the corner, is too shallow. He's hugging up on this underneath receiver thinking it's going to be a pass for a first down. But what do you have up top? You've got a receiver and Evan Williams one-on-one. Now, Williams is smart. He knows what's coming, so he's already going to be working his way to the sideline, and you can see him do it right here. He's already on his way. The difference, however, is in our offense, we can give this receiver the option to run the corner or the post. Look at this. If this receiver puts his foot in the ground and works toward the post, he's wide open for the touchdown. But because the Packers were smart, Evan Williams knew what route he was going to get. He knew what the underneath, he was going to get the 7 behind it. He's able to just cut that off, play the ball, not the receiver, and come down with the game-winning reception. So overall, Jordan Love, he's really, really good on the move. Micah Parsons, got to have somebody on him. You have to know where he is at all times and then take advantage of what they give you in the underneath passing game, and you might just come out of Lambeau Field a winner.